Welcome back to Pine Tree State Restorations, and I'm going to tell you guys how to restore knives the easy and fast way and what tools you're going to need to do that. Now, for starters, you're going to need a Dremel tool. This is a cordless one that I got out of a trash can that the batteries were toast, and I rebuilt it. Got it for free, and I had the batteries out of something else. You're going to need Scotch-Brite. You're going to need various and assorted fine files. And very importantly, a really nice, flat, skinny, 400 grit stone stick like this here. You can buy them anywhere. And then a lot of assorted diamond back paper. Like this is the foam backed diamond paper, 5,000 grit. They make 2,000, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000. This stuff is amazing. It lasts forever and it works really, really well. And then you're also going to need some of this here. White diamond metal polish. We'll get into that later. And you're going to need some jeweler's rouge. Here's a stick of rouge. Okay, the rouge comes in different colors. You got white, black, and red. White being the finest, black being the roughest, and then you got the red, which is in the middle. And you need a buffing wheel for that. Okay, but you can use your drill press in high gear and use that on a buffer, and you can make yourself a little buffer in your drill press like I have in my wood room in the house here. And you can use that. A lot of times when you buy these knives, what you want to watch out for is really ground down blades, busted blades, things that are really hard to fix. Like recently I picked this knife up and it's mint, except it's dirty and that end screw is loose. You can make a driver for that by taking a flathead bit and grinding a groove in it so it fits in there. This knife has patina on it, but it's never been resharpened, so I'm not real sure if I'm going to polish that blade or not. But here's one that was totally destroyed, and I cleaned it up. The end of it somebody used as a hammer, and I fixed everything and rebuffed it. The blade was solid rust, and not quite done with it, but I used sandpaper on it first, took it all the way down to 5,000, and then I buffed it. I still got some fine scratches in it yet, but it's coming along. You should have seen it before I started. This knife here is if you look at it closely, this is a Swiss Army knife, a real one. Look at that little blade right there. See that little blade right there? Well, that was broke. It's supposed to be longer. I reprofiled the blade on my grinder and then resharpened it. You can't even tell. Looks like original, but it is a little shorter than the original one. This knife was a total destruction. This thing was left in water. It was absolutely trashed. You could take the scales off these Swiss Army knives if you heat them up with the heat gun. Heat them up really warm and then stick something skinny in the end, and then there's a rivet here, here, and here. And you get it close to the rivet and pry up, and you can pop these off and you can pop them back on. It's pretty simple to do. So when you get a knife, you got to make the decision, do I want to restore this knife or do I want to leave it in original condition? Now that depends. In the case of this knife, someone had used it as a hammer and they beat on the ends, the nickel ends, and it was all full of dents and little holes and dents, and I got all those out of there. I filed it, and then I buffed it, and then I profiled it, and it's almost done. This is a pretty cool old Imperial Frontier. It's a pretty cool knife. So it's almost done, but here's the thing. When you grind your blades, if you're going to grind a blade because the tips broke off, never use the grinding wheel, your bench grinder, on the end like you normally do. You always do it on the side of the wheel because you got more control. You take the cover off, you got more control, and the side of the wheel is really fine, where the front of the wheel is going to be really rough, and you don't have the control. You got too skinny of a space right there. Just freehand on the side, go very, very slowly. That's the way to do it. Like in the case of the Swiss Army knives, you're going to use this stone stick. This sharpens them Swiss Army knives great because they have a real skinny blade, and you can sharpen them up beautifully with this 400 grit stone stick. I mean razor sharp. And in the case of this vintage Boy Scout hatchet, it's got a little rust on it. Okay. Well, we'll take that rust off with some WD-40. We'll clean that up really good. Probably polish the end of it a little bit on the buffer and take a file and just take the boogers out. And then on the handle here, scuff it down a little bit with some steel wool and put a coat of tung oil on it so the wood don't deteriorate and it stays, it's very dry. The wood's very dry on this. So when you're buying the knives, pay very close attention. Even I sometimes make a mistake. I'll buy a knife thinking it's restorable, and then I'll notice later that something's broken on it. You have to look at it really, really close because knives are the most tortured things there are. And finding them in good shape is damn near impossible. You're always going to have to do something to them, unless it's brand new in the box, Safe Queen, which is rare. Most people don't get rid of those. But you want to make sure that when you get the knife, that there's something there that you can work with. Like in the case of cleaning this blade up, if you, down in there you got that guard that's dirty, well, you put some tape around that blade so you don't scratch it and reach down in there and polish that with some white Scotch-Brite, get all that off. Make sure you do your leather with some really good leather conditioner to keep it soft because this is rock hard. This is a German knife from the 50s and it's hard. It needs to be softened up or it'll crack. Um, you want to clean your knives, and like in the case of this one here, this one was all rust. Cleaned down in the grooves in there. Cleaned here, 5,000 grit paper. Then I buffed it. I'll show you that in a minute. You're going to need a lot of little files. You take off any burrs that might be on there. A lot of times you're going to want to resharpen the knife. Sometimes you don't have to. Just depends. But when you work on these knives, like the case of this here, I use this a lot because it's a Scotch-Brite wheel. And you can take that Scotch-Brite wheel, run alongside this knife down in here and get all the major crust off. And then you can turn around and use the paper and then the buffer. Makes it really fast. You're not really polishing anything with this. You're just taking the major crust off. It's a soft Scotch-Brite wheel. Don't run it wide open. Run it about 3 or 4. That's fast enough. And the same way with this here. I polished all the blades on the ends and on the inside because they were just absolutely obliterated. I repolished the handles. They were scratched up beyond belief. I sanded them down and I buffed them on the buffer. Be careful because it's plastic. You will melt it. So go keep it moving fast and go lightly. This one still needs a little more work on the handles, but we're getting it. We've got a little tiny bit more to go. I mean, it's a Swiss Army officer's knife. It's worth like $50, and I paid $2 for it. So I got a nice knife now. Okay. A lot of these knives you can get cheap because they're crusty. In the case of the blade like this, you can buff that blade back to chrome again if you want. I'm not going to with this one because this one here is all original. I will clean the guard up. I will clean the head up. I will wax the handle, and I'll probably take a rag and a little tiny bit of the metal polish and just lightly get any surface dried oil that's on there or whatever, and then I'll sharpen it and it'll be good. Like I say, let's go take a trip into the wood room and I'll show you this is the wood room in my house, and I'll show you the buffer I have on the drill. So there's the drill. I got it in high gear. And if I turn it on for you, there's the buffer right there. Once in a while you want to clean that buffer off with an old drill bit or something to keep the metal out of it. But I bought that drill press for $10 at a rummage sale and put all new bearings in it. And it works great. So we'll go back to the main shop here. And so You're going to need a little old drill press you can get for nothing. Dremel, preferably cordless. Cord's getting away. This is nice too. This is a rotary sandpaper stick. It spins. You can get new paper as you go. Kind of handy. Get yourself a lot of little files. This is very important. 400 grit flat stone stick. Okay. They call it die stone. Get one of those. Diamond grit paper. Okay. Bone backed. Gotta have it. Gotta have some kind of good metal polish. You can buy this stuff anywhere. Jeweler's Rouge and Scotch Brite, various and assorted pieces to rough out, like, look at the end of this knife. See how dinged up it is? Okay. It's all beat up. This one used to look like that. Okay. Now it's not. So you're gonna file the burrs off, Scotch Brite it. Might have to sand it with the diamond paper, get all that bad stuff out. Scotch Brite it again, and then you put it on the buffing wheel, and you'll buff it and get it looking like this. Same way with this, I sanded those bolsters, filed and sanded them, and I buffed them on the buffer. This is a cool knife. I got this knife for $10, and it is a big, old 70s Imperial. It's a nice knife. One of the best knives ever made. Same way with the hatchet. I got it for 10. It's worth about 150, 125, 150. I'm going to clean it up. If you got the tools and you take the time and you work the metal and you just don't overdo it, take your time, don't overdo it, you can make your knives absolutely beautiful again. If you got a loose leather, just wet it. Wet it down with a cloth on the outside. It'll expand and tighten right up. And then when you're done, don't forget to clean the knives after you do all this work with WD-40. Blow it all out, wipe them all down, and then don't forget to oil the hinges. Like on any folding knife, you have to oil those hinges where they open or you'll wear them out. I mean, they'll wear out. You got to oil them. And that's it. And just when you go looking for knives at flea markets or any antique shop, just pay super close attention to what you're buying, because if it's broken in a really bad way somewhere and it can't be fixed easily or it can't be fixed at all, you don't want it. Only get knives that you know you can fix, you know you can clean up, and preferably on these old hunting knives, they still have the sheath, man. I really hate to buy them without the sheath. The sheaths are impossible to find. And take your time. Like on the spines of your knife, you can Scotch Brite that, or you can diamond paper that, and then buff it on the buffer. Just work the metal, deburr it. You can use a Scotch Brite pad. That's a precursor to the buffing, and then get it as smooth as you can with this, and then buff it, and then you're good to go. I hope this helps. The equipment you need to do this is important. If you have the stuff, it's easy to do. If you don't have the stuff, it's going to take you a long time. So rewatch this video or ask me any question you want to ask. I'm here to help 100% all the time. Don't hesitate to drop me a line, call me, email me, what have you, or hit me up on YouTube, because I'm here to help. Thanks for watching Pine Tree State Restorations, and we will see you soon.